Hello there, and welcome to the show, and today I'm going to be talking about Kraven the Hunter. So Kraven the Hunter was the latest, sixth, and final film in the Sony Spider-Man universe, something that is just as big of a colossal failure as the DCEU. Kraven the Hunter was delayed for over 2 years due to reshoots and the writer's strike. The story of this film is you've got Kraven the Hunter, who is a vigilante who hunts people on a list that he has. His brother gets kidnapped, and now he's hunting the kidnappers so that he can rescue his brother. That is the basic premise of this movie. Starting off with the positives of this movie, I thought Aaron Taylor Johnson did a fine job with the material that he was given. Was he miscast as Kraven the Hunter? In my opinion, yes. When I think of Kraven the Hunter, Aaron Taylor Johnson isn't exactly who comes to mind to portray a live-action Kraven. That being said, I thought he did fine with the material he was given. I thought the dynamic between him and his brother Dimitri was done well, and it definitely felt like they were brothers, that they had a real brotherly bond. Aaron Taylor Johnson also delivered some funny one-liners. Granted, they were very few, but more laughs than I had in Venom: The Last Dance. The twist at the end of the film, it's revealed that Dimitri became Chameleon. Chameleon is one of my favorite Spider-Man villains, and was great to see him on screen. There's an action sequence that takes place in London. It's a car chase. To me, that is the best action sequence of the film. That was pretty fun. That's about it for the positives of this movie. Alright, now on to the negative. Kraven is boring and takes itself way too seriously. It is drawn out. A lot of sequences drag on for no reason. I was not invested in the story or a lot of the characters. This movie was boring. It is a complete waste of time. The first quarter to third of this film is a really extended, drawn out backstory for Kraven that went on for way too long and couldn't get to the point. Calypso is in this movie, and in the comics, Calypso and Kraven are a couple and they have a relationship, but in this movie, Kraven and Calypso have zero chemistry together. Outside of the backstory sequence, you could have cut her completely from this film and nothing would have changed. Also, this film has way too many villains. Russell Crowe is in this movie as the father of Kraven and Dimitri, and the film initially builds him up as the villain, but then it introduces Rhino and Foreigner, and they're the main villains of this movie, which to me didn't make sense because you spent a lot of time with Russell Crowe. Foreigner, I don't know a lot about Foreigner. I don't think I've seen him in any previous Marvel films or shows. Not the most compelling character, and he gets taken out fairly easily, so I didn't really care about Foreigner. Rhino, on the other hand, played by Pollux Troy from Face Off. He plays Rhino like a complete cartoon. He's definitely trying to have fun with this role. Definitely gave me flashbacks to Matt Smith in Morbius, but not as cartoony. The CGI on Rhino was definitely not good, but the on-paper design, I see what they were going for. Still, horrible CGI, but I get what they were going for. Too many villains. Rhino is completely one-dimensional. The man has no depth. Minus the car chase, a lot of the action sequences are forgettable and not very good. The comedy or attempts at comedy mostly fall flat. The attempts at romance are not good. The final battle is pretty lame. Kraven the Hunter is the final nail in the coffin for Sony's Spider-Man universe. I feel like in this movie there was a decent idea of a man who goes on a rescue mission to save his brother, but the fact that it has all the Spider-Man intellectual property and wastes Kraven the Hunter, one of the best Spider-Man villains, just make this worse. This is a bad movie. I will say this. Kraven the Hunter, in my opinion, was better than Madam Web and Venom: The Last Dance. Granted, that's not saying much, but it is better than those two movies. And it is better than Joker Folie à Deux. So by default, Kraven the Hunter, to me, is the second best comic book film released in 2024. The best of the worst. Kraven the Hunter is a generic, forgettable, boring, not good movie. It doesn't have the memeability of Morbius. In terms of Madam Web, it doesn't have that so bad that it's hilarious because Kraven takes itself way too seriously. For that, it just ends up being boring. This is not a good film. With that, the curtain has fallen on the Sony Spider-Man universe. And I will say this, Sony got their Sinister Six. 3 Venom movies, Morbius, Madam Web, and Kraven may not have been what they wanted, but it's the Sinister Six they have. What a colossal waste of time, money, and 6 years that they will never get back. That is all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. You can follow me on Instagram at Saeed_2000, and I will see you on the next video. Till then, take care.